Hello everyone. I am Dr. Anindita Chowdhury, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Kristu Jayanti College, Bangalore. Today, basically my research area is related to indigenous studies, especially focusing on Dalit literature and tribal literature. So today's this topic is very much interesting today. Why? Because it is very much connected to my research area, and it is majorly focusing on those group of marginalized people whose literature is not at all vocal till now, and they are making a mark nowadays, and trying to bring the huge change through their voices, through their writings, although the barriers are still there. So today's topic, as we are going to discuss, is based on a scholar, research scholar of Hyderabad Central University, who was doing his PhD, and then what happened, what kind of injustice happened to him, and what kind of role society played here, we will be discussing. So our today's topic is Death of a Young Dalit, which is written by Meena Alexander. So if we focus on the title itself, Death of a Young Dalit, so the term itself is very much vocal, loud enough to tell a lot of things about about identity, human identity. So here, first and foremost, I'd like to talk about what does it mean to be a Dalit, or what is actually the term Dalit means in our social order. So it is actually pointing at the historical context where we actually consider a group of people as marginalized, we consider them as the other, and we have tagged them as untouchables according to our traditional caste hierarchy. And this, if you take the literal meaning of the term, it means broken or scattered or something like that. But actually, it is pointing towards those people whom we consider as untouchables, we consider as outcasts, and who represent the lower stratum of the caste in the Indian subcontinent. They are also known as Harijans. They are actually excluded from the total fourfold Varna system, that is the caste hierarchy prevailing in Indian context, which we will come in detail in next slides. And we're seen following they are not at all considered that they are coming within the four segments, four categories that is created by certain group of privileged people, and they are considered as Panchama, or we can mention them as Atishudras also. This group of people predominantly follow Hinduism, with significant populations following Buddhism, Sikhism, Christianity and Islam. They were majorly influenced by to come out of their the injustice happening in the social order. They got very much inspired by Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, and one more major turning point here was the Black Panther movement, and they got, after getting inspired from this movement, Dalit Panther movement also started, and it started in India in 1972. Government has taken required initiative lately, and they are named as scheduled caste. They have given them a positive discrimination, also named as a reservation in India, an official development resource. Let's talk about the poet. She is born, Meena Alexander, who is born in Allahabad 1951 and who expired in 2018 at the age of 67 in New York City. She was actually a poet, author, scholar, essayist and professor. She was awarded with notable accolades, notable awards like South Asian Literary Association Award, Pen Open Book Award and many more. Meena Alexander has that she actually started the journey as a pioneer to raise the voice, coming to the social media platform, which helped the upcoming generation to get that courage and come up with their voices. Now the question comes: who is Rohit Vemula? The poem is particularly based on based on a yeah. So, who is Rohit Vemula? The most important name in this poem. The poem is based on his life journey and what happened to him. That he committed suicide at the age of 26. So, he was a very talented student who got selected in Hyderabad Central University along with the JRF to do his PhD. And it was very unfortunate that at the age of 26, he committed suicide, leaving a suicide note where he mentioned nobody else as responsible for his suicide, but rather the entire system who has helped him to come at the verge of such kind of drastic step. So he joined the university, and he was very much belonging to the community, Dalit community. So he was a member of Ambedkar Student Association. He was active member in that group, and his sole purpose was to somehow bring some changes so that he can upcoming generation will not be victimized the way he had been. So he was participating in all those events where Ambedkarite Association, Student Association were very much involved in that, and the university, the Hyderabad Central University, didn't like that, and they are finding it a bit difficult to suppress their voices because they are somehow damaging the university image because of this caste issue related debates. And unfortunately, that was the moment, or accidentally, there was an event when the group of people from Ambedkar Student Association joined in an event where Yaqub Menon was discussed, and that has given a great opportunity to the management to take it as an opportunity to blame them as they are creating some communal tension within the university campus, and they are associated with some terrorist organization. That's what the university blamed, and immediate steps were taken. Police case was filed against them. Rohit and his four students, four friends were suspended, and a drastic step was taken. Their scholarships were immediately stopped. Rohit took it as a challenge, and he challenged this decision that was given by the university. He wrote a letter to VC mentioning that why not to give poison and hanging rope to the Dalit students, and then euthanasia should have been made available for the students who belonging to the Dalit community and trying to get qualification in institutions like Hyderabad Central University or any kind of topmost institutions. And eventually the VC got changed, new VC came, and new VC made this step even more without even judging the situation. He took the drastic action, and he told them to leave the university campus and stopping their all the scholarships given to them. But unfortunately, they all were leaving on them because they belong to very poor community, poor parents who are not able to afford their academics. It's only their caliber, it's only their talent out of which they are having their academics. So now life has become very tough for them. He struggled almost 6 to 7 months because this started in almost by November, December of 2015, and he committed the suicide in 2016. So after his death, when the entire blame came to the system of the university, that educational organization, they immediately started working on and proving that he was not at all a Dalit. And finally the police has given a clean sheet that he was not at all a Dalit. He was of a OBC father. So the farce is here is that he lived as a Dalit. When entire life he lived a lonely life, a painful life, a struggling life, struggling for identity, crisis. And then when he expired, his body became a question mark and it is proven that he was not at all a Dalit after his death. Now, the poem, when we come to the poem, we can see that at the very second line, just after the title, the poem is mentioned very much in a bold way in memory of Rohit Vemula. The poem starts, the very setting of the poem talks about the room where he was sitting and writing his last suicide note. And the ambience outside the window, what was visible, it was a wintry day, wintry morning, and he was sitting with a pen and a paper to write his last note to everyone, but he was having a hope that this will bring some change. If I leave today with it, it will make a mark, and maybe someday some changes will come with this. While leaving, he has repeatedly mentioned that my birth is accidental, so I should not have been born in this harsh world where identity is everything, where mind has no space. And then he's recalling his mother repeatedly. He's talking his very saddest corner from his mind. Only thing coming up is that about his mother, that who has a lot of hope with him, who's on him, and now everything is going to vanish within, it'll turn into a house of dust. And then he is mentioning this also, that nobody should be blamed for his death. Only his request is that please make sure my scholarship was stopped, which amount is now actually 1,75,000. So it should reach to my parents because they need it. And he has taken a loan amount of 40,000 rupees to a person, which is also mentioned to be returned to the person. And he's ending it with the note of like, maybe one day will come when things will change, and maybe his death, his suicide will be useful to some generation, and it will actually take the form of a discourse. Yeah, and the last few lines are very much loud enough to talk about fire that consumes things both dry and moist, ruined wall, grass, river stone, trust free, the winter trees from the own crookedness strikes us from the fierce compact of silence, igniting red roots, righteous tongues. So accidentally, Mila was there in the university campus, and she got to know, she took the detail about Rohit Vemula's journey and the suicide case, and then she was very much disturbed mentally, and she find out this is the only way to be vocal, so that it makes it takes the form of an agency. Here is an image of an Indian caste system, which was actually based at the beginning. In ancient India, it was based only on Varna system, that is the color and class. And gradually it took the form based on Jati, that is by birth. And gradually it is taking its worst form, that we can see here. So it starts with Brahmins, which are the priests, then Kshatriyas, king, rulers, warriors, they are called the Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas are the merchants, craftsmen, landowners, skilled workers, and Shudras are farm workers, unskilled workers, and servants. Here in this four layers, we cannot see that Ati Shudras, we cannot see Dalits or tribes anywhere visible. At the very last, we can see that one more segment which is known actually Ati Shudra, or we can say Panchamas. They are the Dalits. So they don't even come in the categorization of the four segments, four layers of the social structure. So they are the sweepers, they are the animal waste removers, they are the dead body handlers, they are the outcasts, they are the this group of people are actually known as Dalits depending on their professions. Now, what was the impact of this poem was that that institutional death that happened of Rohit Vemula, which happened in Hyderabad Central University. The student who hanged himself, he was a bright PhD scholar, brought together this death not only brought together the just Dalit students, but also the entire community, entire other group of people, of different political shades opposed to tyrannical administrative system, and it framed the much awaited revolution. The other thing this moment ushered was a surge in Dalit writings in English, which already has a rich tradition, especially poetry. Young poets and writers shed all inhibitions and rose above the mainstream neglect to speak out, especially on social media. And this is the incident that gave them the opportunity to, come up with to be visible in the media platform, so that they can reach to the wider audience, which was now need of the time. Vemula's fabulous idea of man is essentially stardust may have come forth in print only now, but for his friends and admirers, his presence itself is said to have spurred much in poetic temperament among emerging Dalit writers and poets today. Meena Kandasamy has actually ignited that fire that was, for long it was awaited, and Rohit Vemula has started the journey, which is actually ignited by Meena Kandasamy. Further to, according to aspiring poets and writers to whom English so far has been a second language. So the problem is that when they were writing anything, they were any piece of writing was coming out as in their own mother tongue language, because they don't have the access to English language. Now here they got the opportunity to from learning English and writing in English, so that actually the practical scenario should reach to the wider audience. And his online writings are now available as Caste is Not a Rumor, the online diary of Rohit Vemula, and it's a 40,000 plus words collection of the young scholar or Facebook post. For poet Chandamohar, the Vemula's suicide note was a cry from the heart. He feels it has shocked and provoked the conscience of anyone who reads it, and serves the true purpose of Dalit literature. Many Dalit scholars see the timeline of Dalit movement as pre and post Rohit Vemula. So things are very much different after his death, after his suicide. Things changed, quite changes were visible. She projected it through this poem that pen and keyboard can actually work as an activist tool, and this literature can take the form of a discourse. It can bring the necessary changes required in upcoming years. These are the last notes that written by Dalit boy Rohit Vemula. I always wanted to be a writer of science like Carl Sagan. At last, this is the only letter I'm getting to write. I love science, star, nature, but then I loved people without knowing that people have long since divorced from nature. Our feelings are second-handed, our love is constructed, our beliefs colored, our originality valid through artificial art. It has become truly difficult to love without getting hurt. The value of a man was reduced to his immediate identity and nearest possibility. to a vote. So this lines are reverberating, somehow echoing the pain from inside, the journey, the identity crisis, the struggle, what he was facing, what this community. It is actually not about only the story of a boy who committed suicide. It's about an entire community. It's about somehow the meism is getting way to ourism. The self is not only the self of individual person, but a social self, the community self. So it has all converted to a vote, to a number, to a thing. Never was a man treated as a mind, as a glorious thing made up of stardust in a very field, in studies, streets, politics, and dying and living. I'm writing this kind of letter for the first time, my first time of a final letter. So he's declaring it's my last letter. Forgive me if I fail to make sense. Maybe I was wrong all the wise and understanding the world. So these statements itself are loud enough to understand that how world is dealing with a particular segment of the society where they are not ready to accept, even if we are in a world where technology, world of modernizations, but still this ideals, still these concepts are not changing. It is transferring from one generation to other generation, and it is staying as it is. We can if we come to the present scenario, we can talk about a lot of writers who are very much vocal. We can talk about Om Prakash Valmiki, we can talk about Urmila Pawar, we can talk about Karuku, the famous autobiography by Bama Faustina. We can talk about Veeramma, who is actually narrated by Veeramma herself and translated by the others. And it took almost 10 years to convince them to come up with their voices to actually what is happening with them. And when the things have gone so deep rooted in their mind, in their psychology, that even if bringing change to unlearn those things which they have already learned, it has become very difficult for the others who are trying to bring some changes as well. So there are people who are hiding their identity in the fear that they don't want to be identified as Dalits, but again they are struggling in the crisis called double identity crisis. So all these crises are still there. It is going on and all. Although they have proven themselves, they have told what they are and what changes are going to come. Things are changing. It is not that things are not changing. They got some positive reservations and positive discrimination. We can mention it in another word, but still a long way to go. And this kind of lives, losing this kind of bright lives, who could have been the icon for them, who could have proven that yes, really what matters is the mind here, really what matters is the talent, not the identity, not the race I belong, not my birth. So really it doesn't belong. So now all are nipped in the bud, and the poet tried to be vocal through her poetry, that this is the present scenario. So at least it should reach to the wider audience because it is written in English, and it can bring some positive changes. Maybe it will reach to the government policies which really needs to be changed. So with this, I'd like to give a reference for further information. You can watch this video, and that's all for today. Thank you.